It's TCG Day. Welcome back to my weekly play series where I go out every week to go play card games. This week I went out to play Star Wars Unlimited. Before on this channel I've also gone out to play Flesh and Blood, but you don't need to know any of those games to enjoy these videos. It's really just for you to come along on this journey with me to go play card games. May that be whatever card game you want to play. If it's Magic, Pokemon, Altered, TCG, I don't know, the Sorcery I think is the other one. This video is for everyone. So go out and play card games at your local game store. If you're new, this is a great way to kind of go on this journey with me so we can both go out and play card games every weekend. Maybe we can hold each other accountable a little bit. But first, go out and play card games. 2, like the video if you want to, let me know that you're enjoying this series. It helps me out a lot just to know that I'm making like content that you guys want to watch. Subscribe as well, because there's lots of other content on this channel, a lot of video game stuff, but also I throw in some other TCG stuff in there as well, Pokemon Pockets or some deck building as well. I built some Star Wars Unlimited decks before on stream, and I've been thinking about doing some other stuff. And then 3, if you're a returning viewer, down below I'm going to put chapters in, so if you want to skip to how my games went, go ahead and skip over there, or if you just want to see me open up some packs, go ahead and just skip over to that part. That's totally fine. If you're a new player, I encourage you to watch the whole video. I will go right after this talk about what I bring to my game store, with me every week when I go play card games. Things that are, I don't want to say indispensable, but things that really help me out a lot in playing these card games in person. And then I might throw in some other tips and tricks. I've been thinking about, just making a little section for new players so that you guys know what you're getting into when you're going to go out and play card games for the first ever time. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into unpacking my bag and going through what I brought. But before we actually get into what you actually should bring in knowledge of the event that you're showing up for. Make sure you've called the store, gone into the store, gone on their Discord, on their website, their Facebook group, whatever this store has. I don't know, just do a quick Google and figure out what event they are running for your card game, what time, and what format. So if it's usually the most common ones are going to be constructed games, whatever, all the different card games have different names from. Star Wars, it's Premiere. Flesh and Blood, it's the Armory event. Classic Constructed is what it's called. But then there's also Draft, which is you show up and they give you a bunch of booster packs, you open them up and you build a deck. So make sure you know what you're showing up for, because if you're showing up for those constructed ones, you need to bring your own deck. So that one you do have to bring something with you, or cards with you. If it's a draft, you can just show up. Obviously know the rules of the game, just before you're ready to dive in. Spend some time online figuring out what the rules are and how to play. But everyone's nice. People in these stores want you to keep coming. So if you don't know what you're doing or you're unsure of, just make sure you tell the event organizer. There's always an event organizer, and let them know, and then I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you. And speaking of those event organizers, every event organizer I've met is really, really nice, and a lot of the whole community is nice no matter what game, Star Wars or Flesh and Blood, or I'm sure Magic and Pokemon. I'm sure those are even friendlier. Same thing like Lorcana. So if you want to show up for a constructed thing, and maybe your local game store only does constructed events where you need to bring your own deck, maybe on the Discord or add a call, when you call the store, and maybe talk to the event organizer, be like, hey, can I borrow a deck? Or hey, I'm new and I want to learn how to play. They will happily bring you decks. I've had lots of people at these events borrow decks from other people, offer to lend me decks, when I've told them hey, it's my first time playing, since I just started my journey. But just find a way, make sure you inform yourself, make sure you're prepared at least for the very bare minimum, that you know what you're playing, you know how to play, and you have what you need to play, which is either a deck, or if it's draft, I guess you don't need that. But either way, just reach out. Everyone's very friendly. They want you to keep coming into the store and spending your $10 to play. But $10 for 3 to 5 hours of fun, totally worth it for me, and you still get prize packs and stuff. So yeah, I think you walk out pretty at the end of it all. So they want you to keep coming in, so don't be scared. Just reach out, make sure you know what events is going to be playing, and go out and play. Okay, so if you're a new player looking to go to your local game store for the very first time to play whatever card game you want to play, there's a couple of things that you should keep in mind in terms of what you might want to bring. First, a bag, just to carry the things you want. Water, bring a water bottle. I'm sure they sell water there, but bring a water bottle. You're going to be there for like 3 hours minimum. These events can last 3 to 4 to 5 hours depending on the event. So, just make sure to have water. Make sure to bring a bag to carry all your stuff. But when it comes to what you should kind of bring to elevate your experience just a little bit, or so they're more comfortable, I would say a game mat is probably one of my first recommendations. There's a Star Wars Unlimited game mat. I'll show it off later. But any game mat would work. It doesn't have to be even for the game that you're playing. If you're at the store, so if you need to buy one, you can buy one there at the store. Get one of an artwork that looks nice to you. Some game mats like the Star Wars Unlimited one has little areas for zones, which might help, if you're a new player, but you don't really need that if you kind of have an understanding of the rules. And then second, I would say is sleeves. So bring some sleeves or buy some sleeves. Of course, Dragon Shields, these tend to be one of the more cheaper ones, but they're quality. These are run about like $6-7, and the reason for this is just helps out with card feel, shuffling, picking up, putting down cards. That's also, I guess, why I recommend the game mats, is because this makes it a lot easier to pick up cards, and just a lot easier. Makes playing a lot easier no matter what game you're playing. Just to pick up the cards, slide them around, move them around, putting them down. They both work together to help elevate your experience so that you're not like fumbling around. Because I've seen that plenty, where it's like you show up to the store and the table is a hard surface. You have these really thin cards with no sleeves on them, and you basically have to slide them off the table to even pick them up. You're struggling to pick them up. So game mats and sleeves help out a lot. Sleeves you're definitely going to be using. I run out of sleeves all the time. I'm buying sleeves all the time. I bought some of these literally yesterday when I went to go play. But just these two things are probably the most essential, if you want to say. If you want to just spend a little bit of money, some of the game mats can be like $10-15, maybe $20, $25 at the most. Sleeves a lot cheaper at $7, but again, these are long-term investments, especially the mats. You probably just need one and you'll be good for a long time. Next, these are going to be things that are non-essential, but still really nice to have. I would say have some dice. These are also very common. These are the Chessex dice, really tiny dice, really good for keeping track of health counters, just anything that you need to keep track of in terms of like numbers. These games, all card games, are like math, so just so you know how much damage you're doing, keeping track of damage, health, I don't know, just anything, tokens, counters. You can use them for whatever reasons, figuring out who goes first. So definitely worth the investment. These are also pretty cheap. I think they were $6.50, so also not too expensive. A deck box. This one came with the pre-release of Star Wars Unlimited, but you can buy a deck box. Also, they're also going to be pretty cheap. Some you just want a simple one. Again, $5-6 what you're going to be spending, but you're going to be walking out with more cards. You're going to be walking out with packs. You want somewhere to keep your cards. I guess you can put them in a Ziploc bag, but I would not recommend putting them in a Ziploc bag. And then this is more specific to the game you're playing, but some games have their own custom-made like tokens and stuff. So Star Wars Unlimited has their custom-made tokens, which keeps track of like damage, shields, initiative, experience tokens, all that jazz. A lot more expensive. This was $35. This is the most expensive thing I have here, but I play the game enough and I like these tokens a lot, so it was worth the investment for me. And then the other thing, I actually bought this last week, was I bought a gamepad which keeps track of health for my base. And I like this a lot more because traditionally you just put the counters on them, but then when you're like I have 2 5s and a 3 and a 1, and just doing the math on it, way too complicated. I just have this nice even number, super simple, not a problem. And that's really about it. Again, if you're showing up for a constructed format, bring a deck. I have my deck in here, my Boba Fett deck. So have that ready to go. Just show up, start playing. If you're showing up with a draft, you don't need a deck. You just show up with a empty deck box, and then at the end of the day, you'll be walking out with a full deck box. So you know, figure out what format you're trying to play, or you're going to play that week, and be prepared. But that is basically it. That's all I bring. You know, maybe bring a snack or something, but I don't really see anything else that you absolutely need. A lot of people bring like more fancier deck boxes, fancier counters, dice towers, all kinds of stuff. Don't worry about that at all. Just don't worry about it. Marvel at it and be like, oh, that's cool, maybe in the future. But that's it. So let's go ahead and get to how my games went. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention for new players is, you may not know this, but just for showing up, you are guaranteed to get some packs. So for any game, I believe most games, Magic, Lorcana, Pokemon, you're guaranteed to get a weekly play pack, organized play pack, some may call it. But these packs here, this one's a little bit nicer. These packs, very tiny packs, only usually come with like 3 cards, but they're special promo cards. Usually the art is different, and the only way to get these packs or these cards is to go in person and play. So you're guaranteed to get these. Pastimes, I think, has a surplus from the past sets, so they give you 4, but usually it's just 1. And I guess you can buy them online, but this is the only way to get them, and it is, you know, just a reward just for showing up. The other thing is, you are also usually for most games, everywhere I've been to, this is the case, you are guaranteed a pack, a normal booster pack, you know, the full real thing of whatever the newest set is. You're guaranteed to get one, win or lose. If you lose all your matches, you're gonna get one. And you know, this is just kind of thing. So if you're a new player, you're guaranteed to walk out with 2 great things that you can open. You can open up there in the store. Maybe you get something. If you get something good, you can share with everyone else. I've seen some people pull a legendary and we're like, oh wow, that's crazy. Or some Marvel, the Marvel rarity in Flesh and Blood, and it's just like, oh wow, that's crazy. But usually also the other thing they do is you'll get a pack per win. So I won twice, so I got 2 packs. So walked out with all these packs, you know, for all these packs. I walked out with all this. Again, usually you'll just get 1, so you know, I would have walked out with 4 if it was, you know, normal, I guess. But but still, if you think about it, you know, usually constructed, you're paying $10 to $12 to play, and I walked out with 3 packs, $5 a piece. Even if they're $4, that's more than what I spent, and I went to go play the game I really wanted to play, and I got the prize pack. Like, I think it's very worth it. If you go to draft, it tends to be more expensive at like $20, $20-ish. But of course, since it's a draft and you're opening up booster packs there, you get the cards from that. So you're gonna walk out with a deck's worth of draft cards, and you'll still get the same thing. You'll still get a participation pack and the pack per win and the weekly play pack. So again, even if it's more expensive, I think it's still totally worth it. And again, you're there for like 3 to 5 hours. Like, I think it's really worth it, and it's why I keep going every week. It's just a lot of fun, good value in my mind, and just a great community, everything. So I highly encourage you to go play. Okay, so this week I went 2-1. I won 2, lost 1, and it's very similar to how I went last week, where I also won 2, lost 1. First matchup was against a Kazuda Red, if I remember correctly. I don't remember his name. I should have written it down, but that one didn't have a tough time with. I don't know, the deck wasn't like super good. I don't want to be negative, you know, I never want to come across as negative against other people, but this is just how it goes. Sometimes you'll have a bad matchup, or maybe you're bringing a deck that you're trying out for the first time and you get, you know, stomped or something like that. So did really well against him, won both rounds, so 2-0, just, you know, really kind of quickly actually. So we got done pretty early, but I did get to talk to him a lot. He was very, very knowledgeable of the game. He gave me some tips on like my deck and other decks that I was planning and building. We were just talking, ton of fun. Second person I went against was I think his name was Bill, and this guy is there every week. He's there every week. I don't know if he's there for both constructed and draft, but he plays a lot of Star Wars Unlimited. I've played against him. I've gotten absolutely destroyed. So I was so scared when I knew that I was matching up against him. It was very, very scary. He actually showed up with a Vader yellow deck which is one that I'm trying to build right now. Vader 4 from the newest set, so Vader Green, I guess. And I was like, I'm gonna take notes, you know, because that's the deck I want to build. So I was a little scared, but I didn't already kind of know how the deck plays because I've been researching it. And same thing, I won 2-0. So I beat him both rounds, or 2 rounds in a row. And it was more so, I don't think he was running exactly the deck that's going around right now in the tournaments where it's like winning tournaments or going second. I've seen one deck that won a planetary qualifier and 2 decks that got second in a planetary qualifier. I don't think he was running any of those, so it was a little bit different. He was getting also some bad draws, or at least from his like size when he would draw up. So I got a little bit lucky there, but I know he's a really good player, also very knowledgeable of the game. Talked to him a little bit. Great guy. But I was scared, and then when I beat him the first time, it was like a sigh of relief. I was like, oh my god, I'm doing it. I was so scared that I was gonna lose, but I pulled it off, so I'm very happy about that. But then my third matchup was against Ron Longhee. If you're familiar with Star Wars Unlimited, you might be familiar with him. I don't know exactly what he does. I think he helps organize events for Fantasy Flight Games, which are the developers of Star Wars, but he is on the Fantasy Flight streams for Star Wars Unlimited. So by the time this video is up, I think he said he was going to go to, I forget where they're located, but he was going to travel to their headquarters to do a stream for the new sets. So he was going to preview the new sets, and I think they were going to play Premiere Constructed on stream. So go ahead and go check out that video. If I can find a link for it, I'll link it down below, but you can go see him play. And it's the same thing as like with my second matchup, even worse, where I was like, I don't want to go against Ron because I know he's good. I've seen him play on stream. I know he's good. He plays a lot. And of course, he showed up with a Han 1 green deck, which is one of the meta decks out right now. And I won my first one. I won the first round. Which I was very happy. I was like, oh, I can do it. I can do it. I just need to win one more. But needless to say, he knew that first round was all he needed to know what my deck was about and to do some changes with his sideboard. I don't even have a sideboard, but do some changes with his sideboard. And then he won the next two matches, and he beat me. Of course, he went undefeated this week. So he did get that big prize pack that my store hands out. Your store might not hand out prize packs if you go undefeated, but sometimes they do. So he went undefeated. You get a Carbonite pack, which is like a $30 pack. So he's a great guy, though. Great guy. He was very competitive. My deck actually held up pretty well. I think if I had a sideboard and I had some cards that, maybe like a Cham Syndulla that's very strong against Han, and I had some cards I could switch around with, I probably could have won. But I won't know now. But still, a great guy, very fun matchup, very tough. But I had a lot of fun. So check him out on the live stream again. I might link it down below if I can find it. And yeah, just absolutely like wild day where just lots of like anxiety against my matchups that I was gonna go up against. But I did very, very well, I would say. I mean, I didn't win the whole thing. I wasn't even thinking about getting a extra special Carbonite pack for taking the whole thing, but either way, I had a lot of fun. Met them all, shook their hand. Always fist bump, always shake their hands. Always make some try and get to know them a little bit, make some conversation, just so you're known in the community a little bit. So now that I've been playing at Pastimes 2 weeks, I feel like people kind of know me just a little bit. But showing up every week, people will get to know you, and you'll make friends. So, and you're there to play Star Wars, so you have. Or well, whatever card game you're there to play, so you have some common ground to kind of bridge the gap and be able to get to know each other more and just have fun. You don't even need to get to know them. You can just talk about the game and talk about how much you love the game. And down below in the comments, tell me how your games went. Tell me if you took the whole thing. Did you win? Did you lose? It's okay if you lost all your games. If you're learning, it's a great way to know if you're having fun. If you're losing and you're still having fun, maybe this is for you. I think that's a great indication that this is for you. So let me know down in the comments. Share some stories. Tell me how your matches went. Tell me someone interesting you met. Tell me something interesting that happened. Just down in the comments, tell me about your weekly play experience so we can kind of hold each other accountable, and we can share stories. So I will be opening these packs in just a moment, so stick around for that, okay? Okay, so now onto the pack openings. I think we're gonna start with our weekly play packs here. We got 4 of them. I mixed these up, so I don't know which one's Twilight of the Republic, but we'll start with our Spark of Rebellion here. Weekly play 1. Let's see what we get. I don't actually know what, like, I know Flesh and Blood can have some like high rarities in these weekly play packs, but I don't know what the distribution of that is for Star Wars Unlimited. But hopefully, you know, all I look for is cool looking cards and cards that I might use in my decks. I think, oh, look at that, Leia Organa. Hyperspace. Oh, C-3PO. I think I already have one of these. And then General Veers. That's the foil one that we get here. It's pretty good. I don't know if he's other friendly Imperial units get +1/+1. That's not a bad card. Vader decks and stuff like that will run a lot of Imperial units. This one's kind of smiling a little, but pretty cool. Probably not the best looking foil one, but it's still cool. Alternate art, of course, is always fun, so I like that. It's nice. Then here, I think we tend to do this with the shiny ones up top. Going to Shadows of the Galaxy. There's also a limited pool of cards you can get from here, so I'm not looking to collect them all, but very nice. I always like the Shadow of the Galaxy ones because it's paper, not plastic. Ooh, Grief Karga. Maybe not a very used card, but nice character. Phase 3 Dark Trooper. 3/3/3 Sentinel, and when combat damage is dealt to this unit, give an experience token to this unit. That's pretty good. Again, not cards you see a lot of play for, but ooh, Enfys Nest. Now this is a good card. Look at that. Alternate art foil rare. This one is a good card. Enfys Nest 5/4/6 cost 5/4 ambush. While a friendly unit is attacking using ambush, the defender gets -3/-0. This sees some play in some decks. I think the most recent deck I probably would have seen him in was a Mandalorian deck. I think you see the other Enfys Nest more than the Shadows of the Galaxy Enfys Nest, but still, I really like the arts on this one. This one's really good. I like that. Good pull for that one. Okay, and then again, I don't know, this could be the Jump to Lightspeed one or the Twilight of the Republic one. I'm not too sure. They do have little serials on here, but don't know what they stand for. I think Ron was talking about why they switched to these, but I don't really remember. Don't remember what his answer was. He was on the other side of the table when he was talking about it. I think it was something like for selling it and stuff like that. If you have them like this transparent, people are less likely to want to sell them out to other people because you can't trust if you're going to get the set that they say. Oh, this is Jump to Lightspeed. Another Fet's Fire Spray. I pulled one of these last week in my Jump to Lightspeed promo or weekly play pack. So, you know, I run 3 of these, so, you know, we'll swap it out. Red Squadron Y-Wing. This is also a good card. 2/1/3 on attack. Deal 3 indirect damage to the defending player. Pretty good card. Good starting, like, card to start round 1 drop, I believe you would call it. Ooh, and an Anakin Skywalker in a foil. That's nice. Look at that. This one you see play for Anakin Skywalker as well, so very cool card. Piloting. When attached unit completes an attack, you may return this upgrade to its owner's hand. But 2/3, 2 cost, alternate art foil. That's nice. Cool looking. Some good cards. Is this alternate art? Doesn't it look like the same art? It might be the same art, just with the border coloring and the foiling. I'm pretty sure. No, it is alternate art. It is alternate art. Just obviously looks similar with the shiny one up top. These two good shinies, good little foils. This one not so much. You can't even see it on the camera as much, but still very happy about that. I think last time we only got 2 foils. We didn't even get all 3 foils, so Okay, now this one's Twilight of the Republic. I don't actually know what cards I would want from this. General's Guardian. I think I might have pulled this last time as well. 332nd Stalwart. Coordinate. This unit gets +1/+1 with Coordinate. And a Battle Droid Legion, which is also, it's a rare, but I pulled this last week as well. So now I have 2 rare Battle Droid Legions. So this one, Twilight of the Republic, again, much like the set. Not very exciting. It's a rare, you know, but it's a card I already have and a card that I will probably never play. So, you know, it is what it is. That's my pull for the organized play packs. Next, we don't have as many as last week. Last week I opened up 12 total packs. Well, I think 8 actual booster packs, but we only have the 3. I didn't buy any extra ones. I ended up buying some singles, which I probably won't show because they're already in my deck. But bought some singles for my decks that for my Boba deck and my Vader deck. So didn't buy any booster packs this week. It's just it is more economical to buy singles than to buy booster packs. So just had to do it. Rio. I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly, and I'll call out if there's anything very good. Electromagnetic pulse. Here I won't. Celeste and Spacer. Techno Union Transport. Prototype TIE Advance. Onyx Squadron Brute. All Wings Report In. TDP Occupier. Echo Base Engineer. Nothing too interesting. Air Superiority. This is one, I'm just going to call this out because this is a card that I've been thinking about putting in my Vader deck. My Vader, my Jump to Lightspeed Vader deck. Because, you know, you're going to have a lot of space units as Vader. So, let me know what you guys think about that. It's a common, but might put it in a sideboard or something. Wingman Victor 2, another one. So, I needed Wingman Victor 3 so bad. Those are one of the singles I bought. I bought 2 of the Wingman Victor 3s. And I got 2 of the Wingman Victor 2s that I needed in my last one. So I'm just getting a bunch of these. I'm now up to 4. Here's a good one though. Fly Casual. I don't think it sees a lot of play. Ready's a vehicle unit, but it can't attack bases for this phase. I mean, I guess it could be pretty good. It's a 1 cost. Ooh, a Hyperspace Boba Fett. This is a good card. I think I have 2 if not at least 1. So but Hyperspace Boba Fett, I'll take that. That's really good. This one, some people do run in the Boba like leader deck, so I've been thinking about maybe adding this. So it's nice that I got one. This might push me over the top to actually do that, so it's cool. GM Communications, another rare. So that's 2 rares. I didn't even realize this one wasn't on the rare slot, but Hyperspace rare for a Boba Fett, pretty good. GM Communications, good card, but you know, it's a decent card, I'll say. It removes events, but it lets you look at an opponent's hand. 1 cost, pretty good. And Homestead Militia foil, pretty good. So we'll place our good hits at the top. I don't really care if they're mixed up, it's fine. I finally organized all my cards as well. I bought a you know, one of those paper cardboard boxes to put my Star Wars Unlimited stuff in. I don't have a lot. I've only bought a couple boxes in total. I think in total it's probably like 6 or so boxes, which isn't enough to fill one of those cardboard ones, the big storage ones, but still. For our first pack, prize pack too, pretty good hit. All right, let's see our second one. Again, nothing too crazy. I think the only thing I would really want from this is Victor Leader. I need 3 Victor Leaders. I don't have a single one, and it would save me the cost because it keeps going up in price. So I'm gonna purchase it sooner rather than later, before they get too expensive. Okay, Rose, we got Swarming Vulture Droid, Black Squadron Scout Wing, Sith Trooper, a Hyperspace Dagger Squadron pilot. Not the best pilot, but you know, hyperspace. Droid missile platform. Desperate Commando. First Order TIE Fighter. This one I never know how to pronounce. Kyogren turn. The cargo frigate. A uncommon stay on target. I don't know if I have a full set of this, but it is a good card. Attack with a vehicle unit. It gets +2/+0, but it gains when this unit deals. Oh no, when this unit deals damage to the base, draw a card. So pretty good buffs in general. Allows you to attack with a vehicle, get the +2, and you get to do the card draw from a base. Might not even be a bad card for my Vader deck as well. Oh well, I guess I don't run red on that one, so it would go well with those kind of decks. Director Krennic, that's a good card to see. I think we pulled him last time as well. Shielded, and then when defeated abilities cost less. Sweep the area. This is, I was looking at it once. I'm not too crazy about this card, but, you know, nice to see. Nia Nub, rare. I don't know if I have a full set of Nia Nub. I don't think so, but he's a good pilot. You'll see him a lot in any green heroic decks that are out there that run pilots. I mean, just in general, he's pretty good. 1/2, and then this unit gets +1 for each other friendly pilot unit and upgrade. And then same thing with his piloting. And he costs 1. He's just 1 to attach and 1 to play on the ground. So pretty good for 1/2. And then if you're running multiple pilots, which a lot of the decks, the big decks are running, well, stuff like Han, and I think Quinlan will run pilots. And then, ooh, a foil Never Tell Me the Odds. This one's actually pretty good because this is an S rarity, which means it's only in the starter decks. So it's one of the, it's like rarer than rare, but getting into a foil is very cool. I don't know if it's very, well, I guess you would see this in the new Han, the Jump to Lightspeed Han. Discard 3 cards from an opponent's deck and 3 cards from your deck, and then you deal damage to a unit equal to the number of cards with an odd cost discarded this way. So yeah, you would see it. I think last week when I played against the Jump to Lightspeed Han, they had Never Tell Me the Odds. But cool rare, or a cool foil. And again, I believe it's considered rarer than rare because it's a card that's from the starter deck, so the only way you can get it is in the foil slot. So pretty cool. Okay, last pack. Last pack. See, I actually might have bought more packs. I tried to go to one of my game stores, Good Games, where I play Flesh and Blood. And I was thinking about buying packs, but I just couldn't find parking. So I ended up, Hyperspace Major Von Reg. Yeah, but I ended up just going to, I had a haircut appointment. So I was like, well, can't find parking, so I'm just going to go straight to it. Torpedo Barrage. This one, source of many hard decisions for my matchups yesterday when I played with Boba. Dealing 5 indirect damage and then tapping Boba, so you're doing 6 indirect damage for 3 costs. Just a source of many. Where did I do it? But it is, again, because you can assign, your opponent decides where it goes. It's not sometimes that difficult of a decision or that impactful if they, spread their damage around. But if you, deploy it at the right time and you're like, okay, there's these many units, and you're like, well, he's either going to put some damage on that unit to take, not put all 6 indirect damage to their base. It might get you closer to another card play, like a Daring Raid or something like that. TIE Bomber, still a card that I think I'm going to just take out of my Boba Fett deck. Not too crazy about it, but, who knows. Evasive Maneuver, Out the Airlock, Eagle Escort Fighter, First Order Stormtrooper, CR-90 Relief Runner, Resistance Blue Squadron, another General Hux. I think I have 3 of this guy now. U-Wing Lander. When played, give 3 experience tokens to this unit. It's a 5 cost, so it would be a 5/5. But then when this unit completes an attack, you may attach an upgrade on this unit to another eligible friendly vehicle unit. Oh, so you can move the experience tokens around whenever you attack. That's nice. Shuttle SC 149. I see this card so much. I don't know why. I have so many of them. Ooh, they hate that ship. Also, pretty good card. An opponent creates 2 TIE Fighter tokens and readies them. Then play a vehicle unit from your hand. It costs 3 less. There's some decks where this is very, very handy. Because it's TIE Fighter tokens, I mean, they're both 1/1, so they're easily defeated. And depending on what unit, like, say you do this with an IG 2000, you're gonna destroy those TIE Fighter tokens anyways, and you get a cheaper cost or a cheaper vehicle. So pretty good. Can have some good combos with it. And the final card, a hyperspace foil Director Krennic. Man, if I played Thrawn, I would be so happy. I mean, I'm happy about this, but I would be absolutely over the moon with this. That's a cool card. Hyperspace foil Director Krennic. An uncommon card. Look at that. Who knows? Maybe I need to make a Thrawn deck. I think a Thrawn deck just won. Data Vault's going nuts right now in the meta. I think a Thrawn Data Vault just won a planetary qualifier like today or yesterday or something like that. I don't really remember, but they just won one. Very cool card. So there you go. Those are pretty good packs all in all. I mean, this one wasn't even the rare, but Director Krennic, Hyperspace foil, and they hate that ship on there. So those are 2 hits from that pack. This one I think is just a Never Tell Me the Odds. And Nia Numb is pretty good. So Never Tell Me the Odds foil and Nia Numb rare. And then this one I think just a Boba Fett. Yeah, because it had Jam Communications, which is not one of the better rares, but Boba Fett, Hyperspace. This pack was the only one that had a bad foil because it had a common Homestead Militia, but still pretty good. And then all the foils here, you got Anakin Skywalker and Enfys Nest. Those are pretty good cards to have in this alternate art. So I think overall I'm happy with this. This is good. So again, you go out and play, you come home with your packs, you can get some good stuff. Like, this is all really good. I don't know what the resale value is for this. I never look at that, but I mean, if you're into them, maybe you'll get a really good card and you'll like even make money out of this. Not the best way to make money at all, but just to kind of give you an idea of how these games work, or how playing weekly can be exciting and fun and just unexpected, I guess. But either way, that's going to be it for today's or this week's weekly play video. If you guys enjoyed this, remember to like the video, comment as well, tell me how your weekly play day went, whatever game tell me what game you're playing, tell me your record, just share something. This is what this whole series is about, and subscribe as well for more content. I've been really thinking about making a deck building stream for Star Wars Unlimited, so we'll see if I get that out. But there's tons of other content, not just TCG content, lots of video game content as well. So it's every week, multiple times a week, I'm doing something on a channel. So make sure to subscribe, again, comment, and number one thing, go out and play card games. So I will see you next week for more Star Wars Unlimited probably, and maybe even more Flesh and Blood. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Go on this journey with me and have fun.